Hello there, viewers. Good day to you guys. Welcome back to the channel. Glad you guys are here. As always, I am super duper extra glad to be here. Today we're returning to this 1983 almost mint condition Chevrolet C10. It's a short box, single cab. It's got a 350 small block. The last video that I made on this, we were throwing in a replacement power steering gear. And we had found that the frame was cracked on it where the steering gear bolts to the frame. And couldn't let it go out the door like that. So we ended up busting out the welder and the angle grinder, and we fixed up all the crack action. Yeah, it was happening right down here. We fixed up all the cracks on the damaged frame. And now we're gonna move on to some engine performance type of repairs here. Now, this thing originally came in for a no start condition. We had found that the Holley carburetor up here, the choke was in the fully stuck position. And when you tried to crank it, it would backfire and spew a bunch of fuel out everywhere. And it was a little scary. It felt like it was gonna catch the thing on fire. There was a lot of fuel flying around on top of this engine. Anyway, while we had the thing running, we noticed there were several fuel leaks coming out of this carburetor. It was leaking back here, it was leaking down here, leaking out of that hose there, and the thing runs terribly. So I had tinkered with it for a little while, and we had tried to tune the thing and make the leak stop. It wasn't happening, so we ended up kind of biting the bullet, and we ordered a replacement Holley carburetor. It's over there on the shop box. So today, in this episode, we're gonna pull this old unit off of here and install the new carburetor unit. So stay tuned. This is going to be a fantastic throwback, old school type of video. Opening the hood. This thing is just loaded with it. It's a circular cheetah. All right, let's go ahead and get this party started here. I'm going to hop in the cab. I'm going to get this thing fired up. I want to see if it's going to display the symptoms that we had discussed earlier. Throttle, couple pumps, getting engine start sequence. Yeah, it seems to be running a little better today. The leak stopped right here. Yeah, let me show you guys. Let's get a little closer. I'll show you why the primary reason I'm putting a carb in this. This truck sat for a couple of years. It's been sitting around. Trying to see the fuel. There's no spray pattern out of those jets. It's just kind of dribbling out. All right, yeah, I know that's a little loud. The thing reeks of rich fuel. Shut off. The thing reeks of rich fuel. Those, the two primary jets, here and here, those things are just dumping gasoline in there. If you bring this thing up to like a high idle, 2 grand maybe a little higher, you're just watching that fuel just spill into the intake. It's not atomized at all. And with the plethora of problems with this thing, combined with the fact that that was stuck in the closed position, and on occasion this throttle valve here actually gets stuck. Yeah, look at all that. That's fuel vaporizing from inside that hot intake manifold. You guys see that? Yeah, on occasion this throttle is getting stuck. Seems to not be so bad today. Actually, the whole situation not that bad today, but yesterday we had some major concerns for this situation. So like I said, we're pulling this carburetor off, getting rid of it. It's going back to get rebuilt for a core, and we're slapping on a nice, shiny new one. Okay, so I know what you're saying. why not just take that carburetor out and rebuild it? I know that's exactly what you guys are saying. You're banging away right now. Hello, Tahoe. Y'all are banging away right now on the keyboard asking me why I don't just rebuild that unit. And the answer is actually quite clear. I don't know how. That's right. I do not know how to rebuild carburetors on any kind of professional level. I could probably get through it, but the learning curve is not cost effective, and I'd really rather not, so we're not going to. And my customer feels the same way. They'd rather slap on this nice new shiny one and have the entire situation become trouble-free words. So what we're going to do is make sure this is going to work. Got our throttle linkages and whatnot over here. Fuel line, that's our choke flap, electric choke, some warranty cards, got some studs and some gaskets and some hardware, a piece of cardboard, and some instructions. We don't need those. So, find your free warranty card. Okay, cool beans. So let's drag all this good stuff over to the truck. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave all this good stuff right here. And then let's drag ourselves over to the truck. We're gonna peel off that old carburetor unit and bring it over to the bench to compare and contrast units. So what we need to do, let's start disconnecting all of the throttle linkage. We'll pull that little pin out. Pull that guy over there. Gotta save this, can't lose it. Put that on top of the battery. Down here, we've got a return spring, which I don't think that's really in the right position. And then down here, we've got a cable. That guy snaps into a little ball and socket type of deal here. If I can't unsnap it. Come on, almost. No, I don't have the flangey strength. Okay. But I do have some kind of a tool to assist. Pop that guy right off, leave that there. That's good. So now, let's get our clamp off of here. Slide that guy down. Okay, that's enough screwing around. Let's use an actual tool. Just inflaming the armchairs today, I know. Sorry, guys. Get that fuel line kind of off of there some. There we go. Fuel splashing complete. Okay, so over here, we're going to move around to the other side. We've got an electrical connector for the choke. Got the ground for the choke. Vacuum line for something. Another one down there. PCV line right here. And that little guy right there. Okay, I think that's about it. Let's grab the socket wrench. I think that's a 12 or 13 millimeter. Let's try 15, 14, 13. Try that guy. How about a 12? That's a 13. So we're not in the right space. Ruh-roh. Epic fail. There we go. There's a 12. Got one. So take an extension. And I'll use my shiny zero drive ratchet. Okay, standard. It's not a 12, not a 13. Let's try 1/2 inch, 9/16. No. What is wrong with me today? There we go. So the correct size is 1/2 inch, which is pretty close to that 13 millimeter. That guy on right there. Unclickage. I do not believe I have replacement hardware, so I'm making an effort to not lose any of this. Why is that stud flopping around? That's abnormal. Come here. There we go. Okay, that's one down, 3 to go. Yeah, there is some kind of a spacer under this carburetor. I'm assuming I can leave the spacer here. It may be a Holley adapter, because I don't believe Chevrolets came with Holley carburetors. Some of the more experienced viewer veterans of the automotive field would know better than I. This is not my wheelhouse. That one. I mean, I've owned carburetors before. I had a 1985 Kawasaki LTD 4-cylinder 750 motorcycle. That thing had 4 carburetors on it. And it ran horribly. Except this one time. This one time it ran real great. There's a washer stuck down there. Okay, here she comes. There's the unit. Okay, there she is. Let's bring her over to the bench here. Quite similar. Better than that one. All performance, that's the same, dimensions are the same. This, see that plugged off, that's nothing back to me. Oh hey, revs do not seal air very well. Yeah? So we can leave that one on. Alright, so we've strolled back over to this carburetor adapter plate right here, because again there's a Holley going on a Chevy. And I wanted to see what was up with these studs. And what it looks like is that's not really a stud, it's a bolt. And it probably fits into a machined hex that's on the other side of this plate, so that these bolts will go in, and then they're sandwiched between the intake manifold and the plate right here, this adapter plate. And that appears to be why these things are all flippy floppy. So yeah, I don't know what happened to my audio, guys. Really sorry. It was really weak or whatever, but I've got that guy bolted back on. We had to transfer it over. I had some creative dialogue about some balls or whatever, and maybe that's why I self-censored myself. Anyway, trying to get this other ball off down here. That nut, I mean, it's loose, but that nut right there does not want to come off. Got a 3/8 on it because it's all metric, or not metric. But the problem is this ball right here is spinning, and I can't grip it enough without gouging up the surface to get that to come off. So I'm a little frustrated at that. So I think I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this other little unit installed on the carburetor, but it's missing the nut. I don't know, it's just not inside of the package, so I need to go find a fastener that fits on the end of this guy right here. Okay, let's try this little setup here. I got a nut. Goes on right there. Let's make it tight like a tiger. Click. Okay, parts are transferred over, linkage is on. I think we're ready to slap this thing back together. There's our old gasket. So my new gasket has just become lost. Seriously? There she is. That's the new one. So, hello Bronco. That's Dave with a Bronco. Nice unit. I'm gonna rebuild the axle on that thing tomorrow. The rear end's leaking everywhere. So anyway, set this down right here, nice and gentle like. Don't fall and break now. We ain't having that. We'll slip our gasket in on the studs. Good. There's no lip or crazy overhang on either side. That's also good. I'll take this unit, drop her down in position. There she is. Excellent. Okay, 4 washers. back over here. And then that little guy right there. Okay. One out back. There we go. Come on. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of this piece of junk clamp right here. I can't like that. I've got an improved clamp set. Give me that. These are T-bolt clamps. I bought this kit from a Duramax, and I don't have one small enough. No, I don't have a small one. Come on. Fail. Yeah, that's fine though. There's another kit right here. Well, like I was saying, I bought these stainless steel T-bolt clamps, the Duramax project over yonder. That's the cab sitting on the lift over there. There's several videos on that. But I can't use any of these on this because I don't have one that fits. So we're getting into this other hose clamp kit that I've got here. They're not as nice as those T-bolt clamps, but they're better than that worm gear drive clamp thing they got there. So let's see, I choose probably this one. Let's see how that fits. It's a little big, so maybe this one. That one looks about just right. Okay. Here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to get onto that clamp with some pliers. Open it up, slide it down, way down. That'll do it. And then, what else are we looking for here? This guy is going to go in there, I believe. Is that the right spot for this, this throttle cable? Yep, that one goes there. I realize I don't have the bolts in yet, guys. I get that. I'm trying to get rid of all these super small parts everywhere. Clip you on, that's good. Yeah, I think I like that. This spring is not, I'm not feeling this spring right here. We gotta do something about that. Anyway, get that other little ball and socket guy clicked in. The reason I don't have this bolted down is I want to make sure everything is gonna connect. Because if I have to take it apart again, I'll be unhappy. Slip in. Yeah, this one's not. That's not going to fit. I need to get that other piece of linkage off of the old carburetor. That's not okay. All right. Okay, I did what I didn't want to do. I put some vice grips on that guy and managed to get it off of there. The threads are okay. So I'm gonna get in here and get rid of that that stud that I just installed. That guy out. There it is. I realize I keep changing my mind about things back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Sometimes you have to adapt and overcome to challenges that were unforeseen, like this nut not threading back on. That's an unforeseen challenge. I can't ruin this piece because I don't have another one. Come here, Ratchet. There we go. Smooth operator. Oh, I see why that was loose. There's a shank on this guy. It's not threaded, and it's wider than the lever there. I need to get a washer now. little washer coming up. I have one. Slide that guy over. This is like surgery, loud noises.
I can turn it off?
Give me 1 second here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can fire it up. You're fine. Go ahead. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere, fellers. This is what we're looking for. It's getting tight. Knickage. Unknickage. So we'll take that little plastic guy, snap that over it. There we go. Now we're cooking. Beautiful. All right, let's get these bolts tight now. Nuts. Tighten the nuts. Screw them down. Spin it round, 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 round. See that one? Clickage. That little guy out back. Okay. That one. And then one more up front, right over here. Ratchet. Okay, the carb is now bolted down. That's good. So, start getting some stuff plugged in here. Fuel line is first. Oop, too far. Went too far on my clamp. There we go. So right here, this ought to be interesting. There's a worm drive gear clamp or whatever on the end of this vacuum hose, but I can't really get to it down there. See if you guys can see. Let's pull the cap off this carburetor fitting. That's vacuum fitting into the manifold. If I angle that clamp down, I can get it through like right here, I think. I know. I'll go in there with a socket. That should do it. Yeah, that hose was a little loose. This is a super tight squeeze. Gravity. Not the right size. Imagine that. I know. Nobody can see. I'm just going to go in with this screwdriver at this goofy little angle here. Get the tip on that. It doesn't need to be so tight where it's squeezing rubber out through the clamp. I don't like any of this. That's coming out. I'm not doing that clamp. It's not going to happen. No. That displeases me. Let's try one of these. It's got to be right. It just has to be. Let me see. Okay. This is going to work. But I've got to get the dangle correct for my angle here. Slide it down. Sorry, next guy. You're gonna have fun getting this thing out of here. I'm already having fun trying to get my clamp back, or pliers back on it. There. Okay, that's on. We got one more little vacuum cap. Ratchet. That's for... that runs back to a vacuum manifold. I don't even know what that's for. I don't know. There's the cable right there for the choke. So that guy's on. And I believe with the exception of this throttle return spring right here that's not really what I like. Yeah, it's not going to do it. I need to get a new spring for this throttle. It's not going to cut it right there. There's not enough spring. It's close, but no cigar. Okay, I think I'm ready to fire this thing up. Now the bowl in this carburetor is empty, so coffee there. The bowl is empty, so it's going to crank and crank and crank and crank and crank, crank and crank for a little while before it fires up. But as soon as we get fuel from the pump up to this unit, it should run. So let me park you guys up here. I'm going to head inside and hit the key. Okay, truck. What are we doing? Fire it up. That was fast. That's probably fuel left over in the intake. That was real fast. Running. We need to turn the idle down. Much more better. Let's take a look at that spray pattern in there. She's running much more better. Let's see if it let's see how it shuts down. It used to diesel when you'd shut it off. It just didn't want to die. We'll see if it shuts off correctly. Key off. Nice. All right, key back on. Let's fire it up again, reaching in the window. Oh yeah. Mint. She's running. Good, good, good. I like it. My flashlight. Oh, it died. Come on. All these lights die. All right, let's go ahead and kill it. Shut her down. Beautimous. I'm liking it. All right, guys. Well, that's two major problems fixed on this particular C10 Silverado Chevrolet. Again, one of them was the broken frame. And then the other was that carburetor right there. There's a few more things that need addressing on this truck, like this rat's nest full of wires and mumbo jumbo and all this nasty. I'm gonna clean all this stuff up later on. I think there was a couple other mechanical issues. I need to check the RO on it. But there is some more work to be done on this truck. One of the problems is this radiator right here, actually the fan. I do not believe this is enough fan to cool off this thing. There's no shroud around it, so when this fan is running, we're not really getting any cooling capability. So I may end up upgrading this radiator and the fans. One of the other problems with this radiator is right down here. We got a leak at that fitting. See that right there? There's coolant dripping out of it. If any of you guys saw this welding the frame steering gear video from earlier, you would have noticed that I spray painted over some coolant that was dripping. So that's gonna get fixed later on. Again, the wires, a few other things. So this kind of a project it's a mechanical restoration, that's what it is. So anyway guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. I have nothing more to offer you on this particular Chevrolet C10 1983 Silverado, which is also silver. Love the color, matches my truck. Anyway, let me know what you think about this truck in the comment section down below. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button right down there. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later in a video, in a Chevrolet, in a carburetor, in a transmission.